Interesting. So this was not the first time today I've heard that same question. I don't think we're in kind of a web bubble right now because during the first bubble, I think we saw too much money, too much investment versus too few places to invest. And now I think people kind of understood that there was too much of a focus on a few companies. Now we see a broader selection of different companies out there. They're also their capital needs are not so great, so they're not going to the public stock market to raise money. So a lot of the bubble was the fact that there were just a few places where you could invest. So think of the entire world is hearing about the internet and how that internet is the future. But then they look and they say there's only 3, 4, 5 different places you can put your money to work. Well, you always like to think that people have kind of learned from history. It's hard to know. I don't think we're in another bubble right now because we don't see crazy valuations for new companies. In fact, we don't even see that many smaller companies going to the stock market. We see them really going through acquisitions where there isn't really this kind of uncontrolled bidding process for their value. You've got business people on the other side that are. So Web 2.0, you have to think of as a whole set of different kind of ideas, concepts, and technologies that can be assembled in various ways to create interesting applications. So the traditional web was really all about simply websites. Now Web 2.0 is things like separation of programs and data so that data is freely available to be used in different things like the mashups that were discussed. A lot of things related to having user community, user input, focus on users. So semantic web means that you carry information along with your raw data so that when you take that data and place it in a new context effectively, that the applications that are being able to look at that data have some ability to intelligently process it. So Web 3 is really, really leading edge. That's something we're talking about for 2010, 2015, conceptually right now. You know, that's something that's hard to predict. As far as when we would have a catalog, or?
No, web service in Catalan.
I'm not sure exactly what that would mean. As far as most of those, the services are.
Yeah, the website in Catalan.
The website itself, then. I'm not aware of what we're thinking at that point. We certainly look at a lot of different languages and locations for websites. So we both have to do websites, and then we'd have to do local facilities as well, for the most part. When we, if we go to a particular country, when we go to Germany or Japan, we put a country-specific website, and we then have also distribution centers and business development and business facilities in those countries. I'm not actually aware of our plans for different locations. Let's see. So there's a couple different ways we can talk about that. So personally, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has an investment in the company, which is totally separate from any corporate involvement. I have a personal interest in Second Life because I saw that it was a really good communication tool. So my whole job is about communicating with developers. And so the first couple times I used Second Life, I actually saw that I could probably do parts of my job in there. So I've done several presentations that were very similar to the presentation I did today, where I had a virtual audience of avatars, and I did a virtual presentation. So I find that communication method works very well, and would look forward to doing some more kinds of those style presentations. Well, what I really like about the virtual worlds is that you can have a multi-user shared experience. When you're going to a regular website, you have no idea if there's anybody else looking at that website, or if there's 20 people looking. You can't know and you can't communicate with them. Whereas if I go to a Second Life virtual store, if I'm looking at some product and someone else is standing next to me, we can have a little chat conversation, and we can talk about, hey, what do you think about this? And they might say, well, this is a good one, or maybe you can go to this other location, you can find a better one. So you add this very, very much person-to-person element to the web experience with Second Life.